Survey says 2/3 of people would not buy Tesla's Cybertruck.
You know, we had a guest on certainly right after the launch of that Cybertruck saying this is essentially a halo truck. It's not expected to generate a lot of revenue. It's the good shining object that Tesla wants to get new consumers in through the door to buy their other cars. How should we be looking at this?
Look, first, it's incredibly controversial, and we had an incredibly robust response to our survey. It was interesting to hear that 2/3 didn't want it, and frankly, that was a lot better than we expected. I mean, across my family, it's polarizing. I personally love it. My wife doesn't like it at all. My 2 daughters are split. Leanne, who works on our team, doesn't like it. Pino likes it. And it kind of makes people feel all sorts of different things, just kind of like the CEO of the company. We did a survey, like I said, that revealed that this split was there, but we also spent a lot of time looking at the reviews and trying to understand the underlying technology of the vehicle. And it's incredible. I mean, this is the first company in the world to move to a 48-volt architecture, which enables something called rear-wheel steering, done by drive-by-wire or steer-by-wire, which means that there's no hand-over-hand steering anymore. You can basically do 170-degree turns with your steering wheel and completely maneuver the vehicle. It's remarkable what the company's been able to do underneath the surface, despite the controversial steel exoskeleton. So we think it'll sell up to 250,000 over the next couple of years, maybe over time 500,000, and it'll move.
Bro, that is the first time I've heard anyone, other than myself, suggest that Cybertruck could be selling upwards of 500,000 units per year. Obviously, I agree. Pretty stunned to hear this from someone on Wall Street. Now, just a quick note regarding the survey that Canaccord Genuity put out. Would you buy a Tesla Cybertruck? 67% of people saying that they wouldn't buy a Cybertruck sounds bad. Sounds like a lot of people not interested. But for such a polarizing product, for 1/3 of people that they surveyed to say that they would buy a Cybertruck is a stunningly high number. Just imagine hypothetically, if 1/3 of all pickup trucks in the United States in the future sold are Tesla Cybertrucks. You guys have any idea how many that would be? On a good year in the United States, 3 million pickup trucks are sold. If Tesla took a 1/3 market share just in the US, I mean, that could be 1 million Cybertrucks per year. Now, obviously, somebody expressing interest in buying a Cybertruck doesn't mean they will, but this is the point. If 1/3 of consumers already, given the fact that most people think it's uglier than their girlfriend and don't understand what it can actually do, are already interested in buying one, holy shit, this thing is going to be bigger than anyone could have imagined. And it's worth underscoring the complete lack of understanding right now among most consumers. It looks weird, can't do truck things, don't want one. That's a typical consumer. And it does look weird, but it can do truck things. And when people discover it can do the things that they currently think it can't, guess what's going to happen to this 1/3 of people saying they might buy one and 2/3 not interested? This is likely to approach a 50-50 split, and it won't stop there. One very clear sign of how popular Cybertruck will be is the incredible amounts of denial and cope from legacy automotive manufacturer loving truck guys whose panties are well and truly in a twist. Surely just about everyone watching has seen the Haggerty Cybertruck review. If you didn't, go watch it. Incredible. This was a review from somebody who, in a podcast, admitted he went into this thing hating the Cybertruck and everything it stood for. But after spending 3 days with the vehicle, fell in love. He hates the fact that he loves Cybertruck and acknowledged that by posting an extremely positive review to his audience of ICE-loving, legacy-loving Luddites, he knew that he'd get a lot of vitriol in the comments. So I posted this on X, and it's worth going through because if 2/3 of consumers today say they don't want a Cybertruck, that number will only increase over time as more people understand what it can do and go through the 5 stages of grief. So I went back to read more comments on that Haggerty Cybertruck video, and I keep doing it. I can't help myself. And as I say, the truck fangirls really have their panties in a twist. The Haggerty channel posted such a positive review of Cybertruck that the only possible conclusion is that Tesla paid them to say good things. I mean, it's really over. Tesla has created a monster and people can't handle it. So these were comments, 4 comments I saw that had been posted on the video within 1 hour of one another. Just check this out. Quote, "They should have had a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. This video is 100% paid for by Tesla and it's no way a real unbiased review, lol," says somebody overdosing on copium. Another comment, "It's no review, it's poor advertisement." Somebody might have had a few too many drinks after this, so I'll read this comment as if it was intended as opposed to how it's spelled. Haggerty is paid by Tesla. Oh, bullshit. And this great one. Great big paid advertisement. Sad. Perhaps you guys are familiar with the stages of grief. First, denial. The first reaction is denial. In this stage, individuals believe the diagnosis is somehow mistaken and cling to a false, preferable reality. Can't possibly be that good, therefore Tesla must have paid them. Some may also isolate themselves, avoiding others who may have accepted what is happening. We're seeing a lot of denial in the comments on YouTube. Stage 2 is anger. When the individual recognizes that denial cannot continue, they become frustrated, especially proximate individuals. Now, speaking of, I couldn't help myself. After posting this on X a couple of days ago, I revisited comments more recently, and clearly a lot of the folks in the comments now are just mad because their trucks now look like this by comparison. So, here's a follow-up. Remember stage 2? Becoming frustrated, angry, especially at proximate individuals? Check this out. These were consecutive comments, by the way. This isn't a collection of the best haters. These were consecutive comments on the video. Jason Camisa, the guy behind the Haggerty channel, a proximate individual. Jason Camisa, what a f***ing retard. All the information he said in this clip is false and or exaggerated highly. Next one. This is so dumb on so many levels. And what a pile of chit made by a pile of chit for people that are piles of chit. Shall we continue? Stage 3, bargaining. The third stage involves the hope that the individual can avoid a cause of grief. Usually, the negotiation for an extended life is made in exchange for a reformed lifestyle. So in this particular case, as it relates to Cybertruck, we will hear things like this. Well, the competition is coming and no one's going to buy that Cybertruck anyway, and I'll just wait for the Ford version and blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, stage 4 is depression. When these individuals realize that Tesla has created an absolute monster, no one's going to compete, they've raised the bar, and it's game over, depression sets in. And finally, stage 5, if they ever get there, is acceptance. We are witnessing the 5 stages of grief play out in real time among many truck fangirls who, as I mentioned, have discovered their panties are in a serious twist. And I can't help myself. Let's have a look at the latest comments on this video, which has now racked up 4 million views and over 12,000 comments. Let's see how long it takes scrolling from the most recent comments until we get to a hater and or somebody experiencing one of the 5 stages of grief. Obviously, the pinned comment doesn't count. That's not recent. First comment here. To be honest, when I begin to consider an EV, my focus will mainly be on range, charge times, and charger availability countrywide. Good. Interesting. Reasonable comment here. Next. This video... Second comment, bro. This video seems extremely one-sided. Elon himself sponsored this video? Can somebody say denial? Both the Rivian and Hummer have more features, better built quality, and the fit and finish are years ahead of the Tesla. Just look at the list. If features compare each vehicle, the Tesla sits at the bottom of the list by a drastic amount. And I don't care what the quarter of a mile times are, said Craig. Anything but fine. Let's keep going. The next comment. Looks like a bad joke and it's terrible. Tesla is under fire in Europe by lying on the efficiency and range. So many fake bot comments on this video. Would it be a safe assumption that those were paid for? Oh, God. Shit, dude. This poor... I couldn't have planned this better, bro. I mean, I hadn't read these comments ahead of time. I could have been scrolling for a while, but this poor derp over here is in such incredible denial that he's assuming that all the positive comments on this video are paid bots. Okay, just a few more. This is just too good not to. Fly-by-wire from Boeing or Airbus and from Tesla are two different worlds in terms of reliability. I wouldn't compare commercial airplanes to Tesla vehicles. For those who don't know, people are freaking out about drive-by-wire, and then people who know are going, oh, you do realize commercial airlines have been using this for decades, right? And planes aren't dropping left, right, and center. Here's a good one. People are so salty that this truck is actually as much or even more of a work truck as any of the other EV trucks. Absolutely nailed it. This guy and or girl gets it. Scrap that didn't pass the test in the first public show. It was a lot of fun when Elon and his companion made a real mess with this ugly thing. I think he's talking about the ball, the window in France. And I want to completely paint an unbiased view here, so I'm not going to cut out any of the comments just so you guys can see the full mix. This is a really telling comment. I am no fan of EVs, but I am so getting this when my number is called. Well done. Thanks, guys. So I'm no fan of EVs, but I'm getting this. I think this individual has made it all the way to stage 5 acceptance. They're admitting, not a fan of EVs for reasons unknown. Yet, accepting, you know what, I'm actually going to get this thing even though I'm no fan of EVs. Didn't see them do anything with it that I do daily with my truck. You know, real world truck stuff. Now, this is true. The review didn't have a whole lot of towing and that kind of shit. These videos, however, will come. Throttle-by-wire failure in the Prius during the early 2010s. A thumbs up. This video reminded me of watching an episode of Bill Nye as a kid. I had no intention of sticking through the whole video, but it was so well done, I couldn't look away. Amazing. This is true. It's a great video. Cybertruck is surely one of the coolest cars of this decade. Panasonic note taken. I've got no idea what that means. I'm jacked. Elon put the past where it belongs. Presumably this is part German. Haggerty, let's go. I trust you completely. And finally, let's end on whatever this comment is. How much Cybertrucks will be work trucks? None. It's for people that doesn't need a truck and will only clog up the nearest city with them. Nice Tesla ad. No, dude. I mean, I could not have planned this better. Look at this. More denial. Nice Tesla ad, as in Tesla paid you to say this, right? 48 volt is new? No. All Audi and Mercedes hybrid cars have 48 volts for years now. Hyundai and Kia have some models too. Now, this is false. The entire architecture within Cybertruck is 48 volt. There are some vehicles, individual components running on 48 volts, but the cope is next level. Edit. Steer by wire? Come on. Never heard of the Infiniti Q50? You have/had them in North America, right? And that crash test would be good in the 1950s. The truck didn't bend, but the passengers are dead, so it's safe. Oh my God. So anyway, the point of this long detour, other than to very clearly illustrate the truck fangirls right now going through the 5 stages of grief, was regarding these survey results. As people, truck fangirls, move through the 5 stages of grief, starting with denial and eventually ending with acceptance. The number of consumers out there who will buy a Cybertruck, who intend on buying a Cybertruck, who would even consider buying a Cybertruck, will only increase from here. And like I said, in the US alone, give or take 3 million pickup trucks sold in a good year. So based on this survey, obviously it's not super scientific, but it's an interesting data point. Tesla could own 1/3, 1 million units per year of this market. Now, obviously, that's not a prediction. I'm just saying, already, if 1/3 of consumers are interested in a Cybertruck and 3 million pickup trucks per year are sold in the US, do the math. Now, here's another thing you may not have considered. Cybertruck is also going to attract new buyers who aren't traditionally interested in pickup trucks, meaning the market for Cybertruck isn't just the existing pickup truck market. It's actually larger. In short, once again, everyone, including Tesla themselves, I think, have massively underestimated the potential of Cybertruck.
Move the P&L, but what's more interesting is the way the company continues to move technology forward.
Hey, George, Pross here. So do you think, how you doing, man? So do you think that one of the main reasons why potentially there was some negativity towards it in terms of your survey was because of pricing? Pricing was a bit more expected than what people had seen, at least originally. And then secondly, touching on the under the skin features, do you think that'll actually help sentiment if people learn more about that 48 volt system, that rear wheel steering system, things like that under that kind of controversial skin?
So I think the 2/3 that didn't like it yet, our survey was very simple. Would you buy Cybertruck? But if you ask me, based on the discussions that I've had individually, which have been probably in the hundreds, it's really the look of the vehicle that either gets people excited or revolts people. You know, it's really controversial and it's different. And, you know, the future.
Controversial and different. For some reason, that just stuck out to me. Not sure why. Now, I just want to pose a question, a hypothetical scenario. Just imagine, hypothetically, that no vehicles had ever been produced and that Cybertruck was the very first vehicle ever produced. Ever, right? The very first vehicle. Essentially the Model T, right? How do you think consumers would have reacted to the appearance of Cybertruck if they had nothing else to compare it to, visually, aesthetically? If they had no preconceived notions of what a vehicle and or a pickup truck should look like? I conjecture that most people wouldn't have had a whole lot to say either way, because brand fucking new. Of course, it's impossible to know, but I think a lot of the resistance to the way the Cybertruck looks isn't actually people not liking the way it looks. It's people struggling to adjust to how different it looks, which are entirely separate things. Some people, when they first saw Cybertruck, loved it. I'm among them, but many hated it at first, and then over time, after becoming familiar enough over the last 4 years, have grown to love how it looks. There are a lot of people out there who haven't even seen a Cybertruck yet, or they've just had a first impression. Over time, I think many of these initial haters will ultimately become Cybertruck lovers. Not for what it can do, but what it looks like. Again, it will just take time. For many people, change is hard.
Future should look like the future, according to Elon Musk. It excites me. It revolts my wife, for example. So I think it has everything to do with the way the vehicle looks. What was your second question again, Praz?
I was basically asking about mentioning the fact that the under the skin features, are those going to help sort of improve buying sentiment if people understand what's going on with the 48-volt architecture and things like that?
Totally.
Yeah, the answer to this is absolutely. And as we've seen with the comments on the Haggerty video, which I covered a while ago, and in fact, my Cybertruck is Engineering Genius video, 4 years old now, over 1 million people saw that. The most common thing I saw in the comments was, I fucking hated this thing, but now that I understand why it looks the way it does, the features, the functionality, the utility, I love it. Very important point. When people have the conversations with their neighbors, their friends, their family members, their colleagues, their co-workers, what it can do, and they learn its capabilities, they drive one, they see, what can the Cybertruck do, as opposed to what do I think about how it looks? Many people will be converted. And again, the comments on that Haggerty video are a perfect example. The same thing that happened on my Cybertruck is Engineering Genius video. Same comments. Round 2, 4 years later, speaking to an internal combustion engine vehicle-loving audience. Many of the comments, I fucking hated this thing, but now that I understand what's underneath, the engineering, this, that, and the other, I actually really like it. I'm going to buy one. Most people still haven't had that experience, that conversation, but they will in the coming years. So look the out.
I mean, look, it has stuff that you have to get used to, right? There's no rear view mirror. There's an enormous front windshield wiper. There's an enormous windshield. This is all different. I've seen the vehicle in person. I haven't driven it, but based on the reviews that I've seen, people sort of like it, and also it's incredibly fast, right? It beats a Porsche 911 off the line while carrying a Porsche 911. So I think the technology is going to get people excited. It's different, the same way the iPhone was different when it first came out, but it's got incredible stuff underneath the hood, so to speak.
And George, when we factor in the Cybertruck here, Musk himself says it'll take 12 to 18 months before this new vehicle is, quote, a significant positive cash flow contributor. Is this more about sort of the halo effect for the brand, getting people into perhaps some of the cheaper models, or is this really targeted at a very sort of small base of early adopters and Musk supporters when you think about the Cybertruck and who's investing in it?
A strange question. I just don't. Strange. The reason that Cybertruck's going to take 18-ish months to meaningfully contribute to Tesla's financials is because of the gigantic scale of their existing automotive business. Model Y is already cranking out more than 1 million units per year at an annualized rate. Model 3 is many hundreds of thousands, and Cybertruck needs to start ramping from zero. But it's quite evident that Tesla has designed, engineered, and priced the Cybertruck for the mass market. They're aiming for this to be a multi-100,000 unit per year vehicle. And I suspect sometime over the next 12 months, we're going to hear from Tesla that they're doubling their Cybertruck production capacity goals from 250,000 units per year to 500,000 units per year. Now, I don't know. It's not like I have some inside information, but it seems pretty obvious to me. Stage 1, Cybertruck production, 250,000 per year, and Tesla will learn a lot of things about producing/manufacturing Cybertrucks at volume. Doing that, they'll then be able to implement those learnings into a second line that'll be even more efficient, have 2 of these ramping, get to 500,000 a year, and then maybe more, depending on how many orders continue to flow through and how quickly the backlog is depleting. That said, obviously, the Cybertruck will have a halo effect, draw attention to Tesla, and many people who hate the Cybertruck or see the Cybertruck will end up buying a Model 3, Model Y, Model S, or Model X. But the notion that this is designed to be a low-volume product simply to lure people into the Tesla brand is insane. That will be a side effect, but it's not intended to be a low-volume vehicle.
That's a great question, and it's not that cheap, right? Like Praz pointed out, it's upwards of the version that's currently available is $100,000, and so it's not that you're not going to get significant volume like the Model 3 or the Model Y, but there's so much interesting technology there that, number one, it creates the halo effect that you're referring to, and over time, as the $60,000 version comes out, we think it actually will drive volume. And as you can sell it globally, right now it's limited to the US or maybe North America. But over time, they get to 250,000, maybe 500,000. But it's an exciting vehicle that looks different, obviously incredibly controversial. I know some people have called it an art piece, and Elon Musk should just stop production because it's so hard to make. Look, if they're in our opinion, they're going to pull it off. It'll initially result in a halo effect. Look at some of the viral videos on the internet. people are stopping to look at the vehicle on the street. When was the last time that happened with a car?
It's a very good question. And here's a better question. When was the last time that ever happened with a high volume vehicle? Because there's a few very low volume vehicles that'll turn heads, but I don't think any of these vehicles, head turners, will continue to turn heads for as long as Cybertruck does, as volumes continue to ramp up. We all live in a Tesla bubble and we think that just about everyone's already seen a Cybertruck. There's so many people out there have no idea about this thing, let alone what it looks like. The head turning is going to continue for years to come. And I would just like to wish all the best to the current truck fangirls who are currently experiencing one of the 5 stages of grief. Hang in there, buddy. I'm sure you'll get through it. Just stay strong. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 shit, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, When I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links at the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.